Here comes the Nastygram.
Send a priest to save my soul, forget it.
Welcome back to the Nastygram D&D Podcast. You're listening to A Tangled Web, Chapter 9, Mother's Orders.
Feeling it too hard is the poison to the heart of a sick.
You were right, brother. They don't believe in love, and yet they hunt someone because she abandoned them. How can they not fear the same? Do they not think we see? Did we don't watch how they cherish this surface life? They wasted their time playing with those halflings. Followed goblin tactics. Loth should curse us for that. I know. See how Salvar lingers in the light. He isn't like us. We know her power. You remember what she made me do, brother. You too, Question Mother. Have you all betrayed her? No. You're not wrong. He spoke the truth. If it is too late, then what? We die? No. Refuse. You think we can trust Salvar, brother? A life outside Menzo. Let me focus. If we do this right, Tuantaro's body will lay at our feet, and we will deal with the traitors.
The second son of House Vandree puts on spider silk gloves and climbs effortlessly up the walls of House Duskran's spire. As he climbs the smoothed and ornately decorated walls, we see House Duskran's soldiers in the courtyard below, checking their gear and preparing for war. He rolls onto a balcony and stands, only to be greeted by the tip of a blade pressed against his neck. The second daughter of House Duskran greets him with a wicked smile, her solid black eyes unsettling and impossible to read. I thought my entrance was adequately subtle, yet I see I was mistaken, he says. No amount of guile or cunning can hide one from the eyes of a House Duskran, the priestess replies. And what eyes they are, the male says with a mischievous smile. Unfortunately, I have come with important news and not simply to gaze into them. House Vandree will not be able to join the attack on House Tuantarl this night. We believe Fenra is close and have all of our soldiers stationed at all of the entrances to the city. My eldest sister, Venna, has led her harpies to the outer reaches and ensures us she is close to making the kill. My mother will be furious to hear that our allies have abandoned us on the eve of battle, the priestess says through gritted teeth. But we have not. For your attack to be blessed by the council, there must be no living nobles. And besides, we would not be so foolish as to allow our ally to raid the 9th house without assistance. We've dipped deep into our treasury for you. 55 mercenaries of House Brigandarth will be at your disposal. The priestess' expression softens. 55, she asks. Brigandarth. This night will go smoothly. The priestess begins to walk away, then pauses as though coming to some conclusion. You leave your house quite vulnerable by dedicating all of your soldiers to guarding empty tunnels. If you aren't destroyed by some lesser house with ambitions of ascending the ranks, then return to me after House Tuantarl is destroyed. Tell me more about how you wish to gaze into my eyes. Welcome back. Sorry.
Wow.
Welcome back to A Tangled Web. I'm Jake, and I'm going to be your Dungeon Master.
This is Josh. I'm playing Zavir, the Wizard.
Hey everyone, Dan here,
playing Silavar, the 5th level warlock.
Ooh, what's good, fam? Matt here. Be playing Jidin Duskrin, the arcane trickster rogue.
Hey, this is Devin, and I'll be playing Saver Keen of House Vandree, second favorite daughter.
And guess who's back? Right on the other side of this little stone wall that's about to come down.
Hello. It's Ryan. House Vandree. That's about all I remember.
Ryan remembers how to use the microphone. Remembers how to roll the dice.
I think I can roll dice.
All right.
Special ability in fantasy arcs to start the arc, disappear, and maybe or maybe not come back.
Question mark?
Well, it worked out really well.
Yeah, very dramatic.
Because right now, House Vandree is standing in a large cavern. Beside you is Fenra Tuantarl in her black plate mail armor with her large flail and shield out. The two of you, along with a wizard who is loyal to her and a handful of drow soldiers, are watching this wall as it begins to glow. The wizard says, I can't stop it. The magic is too strong. It's coming down. And a moment later, the solid stone turns to mud and falls to the ground, leaving a large 10-foot wide opening. On the other side of that opening are
Heroes!
our heroes. On the other side of that opening, you see both of your sisters, Venna and her Harpies, which is a group of elite, all female archers that are part of House Vandree. You also are shocked to see Savrakeen, along with the Duskrin brothers and that annoying wizard.
Hello.
Who have all somehow made it here before you. The first thing that happens is that an orb of force appears around Fenra. Immediately after that, arrows start flying from the Harpies. What do you do, Ryan?
I'm going to hide behind Fenra.
Okay.
Yeah.
A bunch of arrows hit the orb and nothing happens. And why don't you guys roll initiative?
Get that one out of the way.
Silavar got a 10.
A big bad 10, a one for Zavir.
Three.
3 total.
Thank you.
Matt, what'd you get?
Big 6.
6. Okay.
Wow,
Ryan,
my 10's
Devin?
really pulling ahead.
13.
Niner for Saver Keen.
Leading with a 13.
Let's get all those low rolls out of the way.
All right. Sorry, Dan, what did you have again?
10.
10. Okay, so
I'm right up at the top, baby.
baddies are right after. Wow, this is the slowest fight in the Underdark.
Hey, we're playing chess here, not chess.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So these two caverns that were separated by this wall, all of a sudden there's this large circular 10-foot opening. The ground below that opening is all mud because the rock literally turned into mud and just slid onto the ground. So that area in the middle is difficult terrain. The archers just let loose a volley, but bam, there's this force field around Fenra. The arrows seem to bounce off of it. Zavir, you recognize the spell. I don't think anyone else would have enough knowledge arcana to, but it's Ulick's Resilient Sphere. It's a pretty high-level spell.
Yeah.
On the side where Voss is, we have Fenra in the orb, a handful of her loyal soldiers that escaped with her, and that wizard, the one that collapsed the tunnel.
Yep.
And then on the other side, we have all of you, a bunch of archers, and Venna the priestess. Venna Vandree. Ryan.
This isn't what was supposed to happen.
Bide my
Welcome back.
time.
This would also be an amazing game if Ryan's plan the whole long was just to kill all of us in the beginning and just have a solo adventure with Jake. That's all the rest of the arc was.
I look back and forth for a second.
You see that wizard. I don't remember his name. Does anyone have it for one bonus
Ballo.
point? Ballo. who has been with you for the last week, traveling through the Underdark, he also takes cover behind the sphere.
I look to him, and then, like any good Cobra Kai, I'm going to sweep the legs.
Sweep the legs.
So I'm going to use my trip attack here. Okay, so sorry, I attack first. So I have weapons on here somewhere. Thank you, Devin. So 19 to hit.
That hits the unarmored wizard, who also was flat-footed because he didn't expect you to attack him. He thought he was literally hiding behind the cover with you.
Classic drow move.
Yeah.
You're going to do an extra D8 from your trip attack?
Yes. Oh, actually, that's it. Wow. So let's see, 15 plus 3, and then sneak attack damage. So
Whoa.
that's
Didn't
right.
have that before.
Yeah.
Ooh. So 19.
19 damage.
Damn.
Yeah, you knock him on the ground hard and then bring that glaive down. He manages to roll just in time, but you hack right into his arm. He like rolls sideways and the blade comes right down in his arm. You don't think that arm is moving ever again. Definitely severed an artery.
Yeah.
He's not looking too hot. Salivar. Daniel.
Salivar turns to his brother and says, "Are you ready?" And he reaches out and he tries to pull the sphere off of Fenra. He's going to cast Dispel Magic.
Oh. Okay, Dan. So tell me about Dispel Magic.
I just have to, because it's above third, I presume, right?
It is.
Fifth. The difficulty would be the spell level plus 10, and I just make an ability check with my spell casting modifier, so plus 4.
I believe it is a 5th level spell, but I'll just go ahead and roll and I'll look it up.
Sure.
4th.
It's 4th?
Yep.
Okay.
Unless, and it's concentration.
I know.
I rolled a 14.
So you got it?
I presume a tie wins, yeah?
Beats it.
Yep, the DC is
Tie
set
is
by
that is the DC. That's the difficulty.
Yeah, I rolled a 10, and I've got plus 4 for my spellcasting ability.
Nice.
Awesome.
My new 3rd level spell, Shiny.
Okay. It disappears. Fenra looks confused.
I've just been focused on that action, and that's where I'll end my turn.
Okay. Savarkeen.
Savarkeen steps out next to her sister, between her sister and Salivar, and she holds up that scepter and she shrieks this word that just echoes through the cavern. I would like the wizard Balo and the priestess to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay. What's it? What is the spell?
Hold person.
What's the DC?
DC 14 wisdom.
They both made it. Sorry.
She
14's pretty low.
Yeah, it is. I only have a plus 3 wisdom. She grits her teeth. I'm gonna pull out the shield.
Okay.
Crack the whip. Bonus action. Crack
Okay.
the whip. Cast Shillelagh.
All right. Their turn. Dan and Josh
Yes.
and Matt. Matt, you've got some arcane training. I'd like you all to make perception checks for me.
Not Arcana,
No.
and I'm no good to you.
9.
Natty 1.
8.
8. Okay.
Roll a 3.
Rolled 2.
This is going to be pretty mysterious.
Another sphere appears around Fenra.
It's round.
Well, I'm all out of 3rd level spells.
There you go, one more.
No, I got my armor up.
The wizard that's on the ground at your feet, Voss, looks up confused, grabbing at his arm, and he says, "But why? Why bring us all the way here? Just to kill us?"
The situation has changed.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's so drow.
He stays on the ground and he casts a spell at you. Can you give me a strength check, strength saving throw?
Probably fail 11.
All right. You're pushed away from him. This like just force hits you and pushes you backwards. You take 11 points of damage. And after you're kind of pushed backwards, he scrambles to his feet. The guards that were around Fenra try to close the gap because they don't like getting shot by archers. So they come through. It is difficult terrain, so they're able to move, but they don't get a chance to attack. But there are 4 of them now, and they kind of move right up on everyone. Jidden, you're up.
Jidden will draw his rapier from his belt and I think pretty simply make an attack against one of these guys that step through. Is there one that's within 5 feet of an ally of mine?
Yeah.
Besides one that came up on me?
Yeah. There's one right in front of Salivar.
That's not great. That's only a 12.
A 12 to hit?
Yeah.
Miss.
So Jidden goes in to strike, gets deflected by some armor, and then I think he's going to... I think I'll use my cunning action to disengage and move past them into the room.
Okay.
And I think that's it. I think that's I don't have any other actions.
Okay. Devin, Savarkeen, standing there next to your older sister, Venna. She puts a hand on your shoulder and she says, like this, sister. And she casts Hold Person as well. Dan and Matt, can you guys give me wisdom saving throws, please?
Cool.
Boy.
Nice move.
Wheels within wheels, webs within webs.
15.
That's an 11. I could use an inspiration. Yeah.
It's a long road to hoe.
Yeah. I'm going to use one of my inspirations.
Just explode it with the 6.
Yep. I rolled a 5, so that's a 16.
16 is what you needed.
Oh, wow. We're in the game.
Wow.
Matt, you realize just as you freeze in place that the wizard on the ground underneath Vass could not have cast that Ulick sphere.
Something that would have been very helpful for us to pick up on.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
Xavier?
Trying to play this faithfully. I probably don't know that just happened. I'm assuming I'm viewing the battlefield unless I heard.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you wouldn't know that happened.
Okay. But Xavier did see that Voss seemed to turn.
Correct. Voss is attacking that wizard.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I was going to do, I will keep doing. I cast Wither and Bloom. So a 10-foot radius around Fenra.
Okay.
Who can I affect? Just her and the wizard and...
You can't affect her because she's in a sphere. No magic can penetrate it.
Right. The sphere. About the sphere.
You don't know that, though, because you rolled a
Well, I
one.
see the sphere.
Yeah. No, yeah. You know, you are familiar with the spell.
Great. I will...
That's why the concentration check didn't matter because he didn't take damage. It's the wizard standing right next to you who casts the sphere.
Right.
Right. I thought
Yeah.
he took damage from Ryan.
No, Ryan attacked the wizard.
The wizard
that was
on
with
the other
Fenra.
side. We just got betrayed.
That cast the first Udalix.
It was no. He
Oh, I get you. All right. All right.
Wheels within wheels.
Seeing this, kind of looking for an opportunity, I see the combatants closing, but I'm not too worried about it. We have soldiers on our side too.
Mm-hmm. More of them, and presumably better ones.
So I'm going to cast True Strike.
Okay.
And I'm going to move up to the side of the opening. So I'm taking cover focused towards Fenra and Bolo.
Okay.
Balo.
Yes.
And hoping that my ally, the other wizard, won't bring down that sphere.
Okay. Ryan. Imagine it's like a kind of anime, like, and push. Yeah, and you like slide across the floor.
Then I'll anime scamper back in and and attack with
All right.
with the glaive. It's gonna miss
Oh.
because it's 5 plus 5 is 10.
Oh, it's a miss.
Yep.
Done. Anything else?
And then I will continue through. No, I want to stay close range. It's a
Okay.
wizard. So yeah, that's it. I guess.
Salivar. I think you're aware of who just tried to hold person.
Okay, excellent. Salivar kind of whirls as he sees his brother kind of freeze next to him, and he steps past Jidden to like then be in between Jidden and the priestess,
Okay.
and he says, "Betray her!" And he's swinging his hand through the air before his weapon has already even kind of entered his hand.
Okay.
And he's going to do his attack. Actually, as a bonus action, he's going to do the Necrotic Shroud.
Okay.
So DC 14 for fear.
Good.
And then he's going to attack her twice.
All right.
That is a 20 to hit and a 16.
Both hit.
22 damage.
Wow.
This does not kill her, but describe to me how you badly injure her.
The attack is kind of disjointed in the sense that when he's swinging his hand through the air at first, there's nothing in it. And then his sword appears and it rakes across. She's wearing full plate.
She's wearing like a breastplate and like a robe over it. Priestess robe.
The first hit takes a deep gash from her face. And then the second one lower on her leg. And it, I think, just sends her kind of reeling back, not expecting that we would have pivoted so fast.
Okay. Cool. She kind of takes a step back, and Savarkeen, she says to you, "Mother wants them alive."
Audience, I wish you could see Devin right now.
Wait, can we get a picture to post it?
The moment of crisis. What will he do, ladies and gentlemen? What will he do? Good work, Jake.
Now, would this be quicker with Pathfinder with reactions?
Savarkeen's eyes are wide, almost mad. She turns to her sister as she says this, and then her eyes narrow. She says, "We destroy Fenra, and then we'll discuss the Duskrins."
Fenra lives.
No.
That is our mission. Things are changing, sister. You've been away a long time. You all hear this. You're like, oh, wait, what's going on over there?
He heard me yell betrayer too.
Yeah.
Their wizard dies, as well as the whelps.
She smiles.
Savarkeen is going to hold that scepter aloft. She points it, and a dart spits out that swampy area where all of the
the mud.
soldiers are. Just a web just explodes.
Okay. I like this idea of this like kind of perfectly circular opening because it was, a magical radius, and then it just is filled with web all of a sudden.
Yeah.
We see the point of view of the soldiers as they're all like in the web, all the fighters, and they look up and they just see this big spider leap into the web.
Okay.
My bonus action.
Matt, hang tight. Zavir, you
Yo.
turn over your shoulder, you see what's going on, and you hear a voice in your head say, "Remember what I told you. Always pick the winning side. You are not beholden to House Duskryn."
Uh-oh, man.
I mean, I can't do anything, so...
Oh, is it mine?
It's your turn.
Dude, you got to save, right?
Yeah, he does, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you?
Whole person,
I thought it was after a minute.
No, it's
every round.
save every round.
at the end of your turn, and then the concentration if Fenra gets the caster
Wisdom?
gets hit.
Wisdom, 16.
Nope. Roll the 3. I'm going to be chilling for a little while, boys.
Now, Zavir.
Now, Zavir.
Okay. Zavir looks back. His eyes kind of go wide, taking in what's happening.
Not that I want to give Zavir the chance to nuke me into fucking oblivion, but have you rolled your portents yet?
I have.
Okay. What do you got for numbers?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that, buddy.
Wow. Everyone's pulling their cards close to their chest now.
I'm not sure what a relationship.
Things are very fluid right now.
Yeah. We'll talk about this.
Oh, no.
The reality is, he looks back. He sees a fucking house wizard and a high priestess turn on his erstwhile allies. And the one thing he can affect is he's already targeted Balo. True Strike
Love killing mages.
Loves killing mages.
You can only affect one creature with it. That's what I didn't realize either.
Yeah.
So that was the creature he would have had to affect.
Okay.
So he's gonna go back to the well.
You're gonna
Old Faithful.
crit strike him.
And
Well.
no, I'm just gonna chromatic orb him.
Yep.
I roll with advantage because of True Strike, and I will do this one at second level. And that's
you have
20,
advantage. Nice.
Yeah. 20.
I saw the 2 at first.
23.
23 hits.
Sorry, never have my D8s ready.
48 second level.
That is going to be 20 lightning damage.
Okay. Ryan, Vass, you see a ball of lightning hit this wizard in the chest, and his robe actually catches on fire from it. He convulses and he falls to the floor dead. You turn to your right and you see most of those drow soldiers that were loyal to Fenra stuck in this web, and you see your sister, Savrakeen the Skittering, in the web as well, going at them as a giant spider.
Cool. I'm going to start. They're like trapped in the web.
Mostly.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. As a bonus action, I look at Vaz and I give him a head nod like, sup.
Bardic inspiration.
So yeah, I'm gonna just try to slit some throats, I guess. Okay. Yeah.
You make your way to the web
Yeah.
and you start attacking the soldiers that are stuck in it.
You do have that glaive, that reach.
Yeah.
Salivar, you are looking at Venna, who is pretty badly hurt. She's clutching like at her chest where this wound is, and she just looks past you at your brother behind you, and you kind of look over your shoulder and you see 5 of her harpies are just standing around him with their bows drawn, and she says, "Stand down."
They're within 5 feet. They have disadvantage. They have sharpshooter.
You mean in the fucking Lord of the Rings when he was shooting Boromir, he had disadvantage? Imagine that scene. He just keeps missing.
Legolas was stabbing people with arrows.
Step back. Step back.
Jake, could I make a medicine check to see if I think she is, if I strike her now, will she die? In which case I might be able to turn the tide.
Yeah, you can make would it be medicine? Yeah, sure.
16.
What is the term they use for bloodied is under half, right? Or-
Yep.
yeah, she is not bloodied.
He stops, like he's got his sword kind of shoulder height, and looks back. And while he's not facing her and he's kind of assessing the situation, he casts invisibility on himself.
Oh, fuck.
That's badass. What do you need?
I need to look up if see invisible is concentration.
It is not.
Okay.
Yikes.
All right, you turn invisible. Is that your turn? What else? It is technically your turn right now.
Yeah, and he'll attempt to move between the archers and Jidden.
Between the archers and Jidden. Okay.
I know there's a lot of them,
Yeah.
but they aren't far away, are they?
They're like right up next to him. Like,
Yep.
yeah, like arrows in his face.
Oh, okay. So they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he starts, I think, assuming that he can't be seen, he sets up a position behind them then.
Okay.
That's
Gavin.
his turn. Yeah.
What does Savarkeen do?
She starts climbing down into the web and just biting.
Eating.
She's it's sort of enraged. There's all this.
You see that your brother has joined you.
Oh, good. I can skitter along. I can sense where everyone is in the web. I'm going to move, and me and my brother are going to carve our way through this web.
I'll say the end of this turn, you guys finish them all off.
These are the Tuantarl soldiers.
Yeah.
There's like screaming and gurgling coming from the web.
Gross.
Lovely.
All right, now it is their turn. She yells at the wizard, and he casts see invisible on her.
Is this Fenra?
No, this is Venna. Fenra can't do anything. You can't do anything in or out of the bubble.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's like super sanctuary.
Yeah, that's great.
She walks up to Jidden, and she draws out a dagger. You've very rarely seen these daggers. They're used to make a sacrifice to Loth. The pommel of it, the guard is 8 spider legs that come and twist together to form a sharp end. And she actually takes the mask off of his face and puts the dagger to his throat. And then she looks at you and she says, "Come with us."
I look over at Zavir. Where is Zavir? I mean, you can't see me, but what's Zavir doing?
Not my turn.
But he cast Blink, so he's on the ethereal plane. You can't see him.
I mean, he's looking back towards this part of the battlefield, assessing it.
Salivar lowers his sword and it disappears, but he doesn't return from invisibility yet.
Okay.
He just stares at her, says nothing.
Okay.
He's slowly walking by all of her harpies.
All right.
Jake, I am technically loyal to House Duskren.
Technically, yeah.
Sponsored by.
Yeah.
Sponsored by.
None of their soldiers have threatened me, or like none of the Vandree.
They're not pointing bows at you or anything.
Okay.
They seem very preoccupied with a frozen Jidden.
Jidden, do you want to make a check to see if you break out of this?
Would love to. 15.
Okay. Just missed it.
No inspiration?
I don't think I have any.
She says over her shoulder, "Savarkeen, can the wizard be trusted?" At which point you realize some of her archers are now pointing their bows at you. We're going to jump out of initiative order unless anyone's opposed to that. Josh, you're last. I want to take the last action before we jump out of initiative order.
To Alita, I say, Vandree would be an ally that would owe a debt if I took a risk.
You would know their secrets. Shar enjoys secrets.
I cast darkness on Jidden, centered on Jidden.
Wow.
Okay.
Awesome. Cool. Cool.
All right.
It's going to get chaotic.
That might get you killed. I mean, like, just out of game, they're going to know you did that. Like, it's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I move into the darkness.
Okay.
It's not an attack.
Sure.
Savarkeen, the spider, the skittering.
Well, I think we're going to stay in initiative order.
Okay.
Since that was a pretty aggressive
that happened.
maneuver.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're going to say the guys in the web are dead. So it's just all of you and Venna and the harpies. Ryan, Vas.
Sisters.
Venna says, "Make sure that Fenra is not injured. Your mission has not changed."
So I'll stand between
Okay.
Fenra and I'll take a defensive action, I guess.
Salivar, you're in the dark, but you can see.
There's a whisper right next to you.
Lydia Lita,
Do you have a plan, Severe?
waiting for the opportunity to present itself.
We are outnumbered. The voice kind of wanders around you. I am sure they grow antsy. I do not know if this is a fight we can win. After the Harpies, we will have Savarkeen and her brother.
It is up to you then what action you take. Zavir ain't casting his lots 100%.
Yep.
In his mind, he might still get attacked, but he can also claim like, hey, we're on here on a mission. Things kind of got crazy. I tried to defuse the situation. I don't know what's going on. It might not measure up, but Zavir, in his mind, he's going to present a situation where he can still try to make the best of opportunities.
Jake, Salivar is going to walk around to where the Venna, and just before he grabs her hand with the dagger, he'll say, "Let go of the darkness." And when the darkness drops, he'll clutch her hand so he's face to face with her. He doesn't have a weapon drawn, but it's just holding the hand, and he brings it away from Jidden.
Cool.
Zavir releases the darkness.
She locks eyes with you, and she smiles. She says, I've heard of you.
Good. You will know the one that kills you then.
You're not a disappointment.
Let us be done with this.
Savarkeen.
Savarkeen, the spider, like sort of descends from the web, and sliding out of it is Savarkeen the drow. Yes, sister.
Bind them.
I haven't any rope.
Like 3 of her harpies immediately like pull rope out of their packs.
She looks at each of the harpies. She
You probably know most of them by name. They're like they are the best soldiers in your family.
Wait, please, if you could, my dear acolyte. Zavir confidently starts walking back towards the other chamber until somebody stops him.
You're stopped when a whip hits you in the back. And brings you to your knees. You feel the heads of the snake whip dig into your skin. And then you hear a voice in your head. It says, relish in the pain.
You see Zavir like crumple. Zavir is not a brave or proud. Well, proud, yes. Brave, no. And you see him kind of grit his teeth, and he turns to the high priestess, I'm assuming, who's holding this whip. And he says, he bows his head. He says, I meant no offense. It is customary between those of the arcane, when one bests another, to claim the spoils before I turn myself to your custody. He looks towards the body of the wizard.
Savarkeen looks at Venna and nods.
Venna says, this one, the wizard, should I just end it? Put the thing out of its misery.
She thinks. She turns and looks at Zavir as he's hunched over the wizard. She says quietly, no.
I was warned about him.
As was I. We can trust him. I know what he seeks.
Forgive my...
The whip lets go. And she says, I know that you're a pet of House Duskren. But House Duskren will be no more as of the first light of Narpendal. So ask yourself, wizard of the 19th house, where your loyalties lie.
Your Majesty, 42nd house over us. And I merely sought to avoid unnecessary bloodshed between what were formerly allied houses when there was a House Duskren.
Bring the Duskren males. They're not to be harmed unless they fight back.
As this kind of all is happening, he Salivar has been watching Venna, and he turns to his brother, who doesn't have his mask on, and he says, "Your life is worth something to me."
One of the soldiers says, we can't find his weapon. And she says, because he probably keeps it in the 9 hells.
Salivar stares down the person looking for the weapon.
You can't take it from him. If he wants it, he will have it.
His eyes are solid black still.
Meanwhile, he has an anime-style humongous battle axe.
Venna comes over to you guys, to Savarkeen and Vas. She nods and says, Mother has much to tell you about what's going on. Vas, well done. You got her to us safely. When the shield comes down, bind her.
It will be done.
And she hands you some sort of magic rope.
The Duskgrin males in the wizard stay with me.
Good. I was going to make them your responsibility anyway. They're the only ones that survived.
Savarkeen has this, a little bit of a look of...
No, she didn't mean your house. From the raiding party.
Oh, I thought she already meant the house was done.
Savarkeen, she's looking over her sister. Does she seem like troubled in any way by this?
No, she seems pleased that her mission has gone well. This was the diciest part, and she seems happy with the execution. In fact, as she walks away, she does something that you rarely see her do, which is tell the house wizard that he did a good job.
Wow.
And as she says that, the wizard releases the sphere, and Voss moves in and ties Fenra, who doesn't try to fight back because there's a lot of people around her.
Savarkeen walks up to Salivar. She looks at the
whole person's expired as well.
She goes up to the two of them.
So Salivar and Jidden are both bound. Zavir is not bound unless you... she leaves it up to you to determine whether or not he needs to be bound.
I say, no, but if it makes you feel better, you can take his spell book.
So in her mind, there's no reason for her to think that Zavir would be loyal to these.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a financial transaction.
What he was trying to express by referring to Duskgrin.
He's a consultant.
Mm-hmm.
Savarkeen's going to walk up to the Duskgrins, and she looks at the harpies to give her some space.
Packing up, mostly concentrating on Fenra, but you do see that 2 of them have been kind of assigned to keep an eye on Zavir. They keep their distance, but they're just watching him.
If no one stops him, goes over to the body.
With the body.
Follow.
Okay.
Yeah. He's starting to get a taste for killing wizards, so he looks for his.
He takes a trophy.
You find it.
He's got notches on his character sheet now. Ladies and
Three
gentlemen.
wizards. His spell book and also his what do you call it? His spell focus is our object of arcane focus.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which has no mechanical effect.
Right, that's a cool thing to collect.
Yeah.
I like that. His object of arcane focus is a small silver wand that actually looks like it look like the end of it looks like a tentacle almost, but it's like pure silver, very well carved.
Savarkeen goes up to the Duskgrins. She looks at Salivar.
He looks at you. His eyes are completely black still.
She says, no harm will come to either of you. I will protect you with my life, as you have protected mine.
Venna did not hear that. I rolled.
No. She says, Salivar, give me the axe.
It is yours to take.
She goes behind you and takes it.
It's so heavy.
It's so heavy.
It's so heavy.
We get a beefy boy. What's your strength?
Yeah.
15.
Fucking
Holy shit.
Yeah.
brick shit house.
You definitely notice this axe. It's not like me. It's a large size axe, so it's meant for like an ogre or something like that. and it's really like it's got this gnarled black wood handle and this really jagged looking top. This key item in the last game that you weren't here for.
Savarkeen has like an uneasy look on her face as she comes up to you. She says, "Will you carry this?"
Of course, dear sister. Be my honor.
No. She walks up. She says, "Carry this."
Yeah, there you go.
To remember where I am now. She'll turn to her sister and start walking.
Do I know if the Vandree wizard, is he an actual Vandree born?
He is not.
He's not.
He's probably a cousin or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sizing up your next target.
The two Vandree sons are this one and the one that we saw in the cutscene for this episode,
Right,
who was
right.
like some sort of,
Because there can only be
some
two
sort of
males.
roguish. Yeah, yeah.
After Xavier loots through Balo, he walks back. He casts his eyes across Salivar and Jidden and doesn't try to reveal too much, but just kind of makes eye contact with both of them as he walks, and he moves to the priestess,
Venna.
And he bends the knee, kind of bows.
While you're doing this, you notice that wizard. He's casting a sending spell.
And he says,
A counterspell.
I
Jam
Summons
their
the blade.
comms. Jam their comms. Sorry, you bend the knee.
what do you call it? Your Majesty, Your Grace, Your Highness,
Priestess.
Priestess,
Priestess, yeah.
She's a priestess, not a high priestess. So yeah.
Priestess of Vandree. I ask again forgiveness for my transgression. I did not know the situation. I merely saw the potential for loss of life where I thought there were allies. Now that I see better, I hope that you do consider that a member of the 42nd House could always benefit from a sponsor. There's always a need for a wizard that gets beyond the waste of two noble-born sons.
Savarkeen has a look of she's impressed.
Venna looks at Savarkeen and says, "The wizard is your responsibility. If you feel that he is trustworthy, keep him around, and he may be useful. But should he betray us or try any tricks like that again, then it will be you who is responsible for it."
I understand, sister. Savarkeen's going to pick up the mask, Jidden's mask. Even though he's bound, she walks over to him and puts it back over his face. She puts a hand on his shoulder.
Venna says, "That's better. I didn't want to see that anymore."
I just love the drow can like just ruin everything.
Savarkeen looks into your eyes, like very, like
He's looking down at the ground. He hasn't made eye contact with anybody.
she squats down and like looks at you. She looks in your eyes.
Nothing. You see, he's from his hair lip. He's just drooling. There's like a steady stream of drool coming out of his mouth, and he just stares at the ground.
She exhales angrily.
A little bit of time passes. You guys stay there for a while until more Vandree soldiers arrive, at which point you're all kind of split up temporarily. Well, Xavier and Savarkeen stay together, but the Duskrins are split up. Fenra is actually sent somewhere magically. Like, they don't walk her back to the city. She's teleported out of here. And then the
Jake,
rest of you eventually, yes.
When you say a short time passes, would that qualify as a short rest?
Some light and restful forced marching.
How long is the short rest?
Is it 10
An
minutes?
hour.
Or-
An
An hour?
Okay.
You're probably in this cavern for an hour. Yeah,
Okay.
not able to do
Good
anything.
to know.
And we're going to cut to the interior of House Vandree. We see stone rooms with adamantite bars, but well furnished. A line of them. In the first, we see Jidden. In the second, we see Salivar.
It's a big twist.
And in the third, we see Fenra. There's no guards immediately around, but you've been here maybe an hour or so. You all came in separately. But as you're waiting, acolytes, priestesses of Loth in training, young girls, come and sit outside your cells and start saying prayers to Loth, casting incantations. You're not sure what they're doing. There's maybe a dozen of them in the hallway. You guys can talk amongst yourself if you want. Fenra actually says something. Well, she says, "Was it your intention all along to betray my family?"
Yes. It is no secret that you have fallen out of favor.
My family is dead. I can feel it. They're being slaughtered as we speak. Probably by your family.
Leaving us weak for the Vandree.
All three of us are orphans now. I suppose all we can hope for is a glorious dedication to the Spider Queen.
I hope for more than that.
Can you summon that blade of yours and get us out of here?
I would say yes, but knowing the precautions they have taken, it's unlikely.
What I would give for just one spell to silence this infernal chanting.
What are they saying? Salivar's kind of pacing in front of the bars, looking at them now.
It's a ritual I'm not familiar with.
Even in your days as a priestess?
Something about the 8 legs of the spider.
A unique sacrifice, then.
Perhaps we should be blessed. What about the other one? Your brother there, does he talk?
When it suits him.
None of you can actually see each other.
Mm-hmm. Jake, I kind of test the boundaries
Of?
whatever's holding us here.
Explore the studio space.
Adamantite bars.
No, I start to call my weapon.
Okay. It works. You can call your weapon.
I release it.
All right.
Let it go back.
Just the tip.
They've stripped us of everything, right? No weapons, no
Yeah,
tools, no...
I kind of look at myself, like still mud on my boots from the battle and stuff. I try to cast Prestidigitation.
It works.
This is an interesting prison.
Because they know we have nowhere to go. Even if we get out of the cell.
That is not true. I have seen the world now. There is more than Menzo.
You mean that village we slaughtered on the surface? Laurel.
Unlike you, we took the long way home. We saw other places, other creatures.
A fine adventure before your death. Meanwhile, there's a sort of throne room in the spire of the Vandree Manor. And the entire family is present, plus a few advisors, Zavir being one of them.
He's Savarkeen's personal advisor, actually.
I'm gonna erase
Pretty common for priestesses to have wizard advisors.
Stick with me, you go places.
Because the wizard that was with Venna is here as well. Sorry, Voss, you don't have your own personal wizard, but you're there as well.
That's all right.
And your other brother is there, and of course, matron Shara Vandree. She's rather young for a matron. She's only about 150 years old. And she's also very tall for an elf. I think you said you were 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's about 6 feet as well. Very, very kind of slender build. I think you described her as looking almost like a column.
Yeah, she has her Piwafwi is long. She looks like a cut of obsidian.
Yes, yeah. So she sort of has this like monolithic profile as she is standing there looking out over the city through this balcony. You can see the spires of all the different houses, the fairy fire that's lighting up all the walls and statues. You see Narbandal, the giant stalagmite that is heated by a wizard every day to tell the time. You can see that it is almost completely faded to black.
She thinks of the moon when she looks at it.
And Matron Shera says, Venna, have you filled in your sister on what we're doing? And Venna shakes her head no. And then the matron mother turns and looks at you.
I bow my head.
We've seen an opportunity arise, and so we've taken it. We allowed House Duskren to destroy Tuantarl. Even as we speak, they're finishing the last of that house off, killing all within. They were effective, even more effective with our coin backing them. But we made sure that the entire city knew that House Vandree was not involved in that raid. By moving our soldiers out of the city on patrols to find Fenra, we ensured that we were not involved.
You are wise, mistress.
And when House Duskren goes to claim their place as Ninth House, they will find that they have left one alive. And what is the punishment?
Retribution.
Loth's justice. Retribution. Fenra will claim retribution for the destruction of her house. And so, instead of simply moving from 17th to 16th, we will move twice, removing Tuantarl and Duskren from our path.
Will House Vandree take up arms to destroy House Duskren?
The whole city will, as is tradition.
I was troubled at the absence of Matron Duskren's pet, Petrix.
What's that?
A minion she sends. It gave us our original command, but then vanished along our way when we needed him most and we were lost.
The Duskrens have strange ties to devils. This is most unsettling. It is not Loth's will. For those who don't know, Loth is a demon. Devils and demons don't get along.
Zavir says...
I'm
just trying to keep thinking of like terms of salutation.
Yeah.
Savarkeen introduces the wizard.
He takes a step and bows his head. He takes a step forward.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, High Priestess, if I may.
She looks at you, Savarkeen, and kind of smirks.
He is uncivilized.
You may.
Forgive me for intruding between matters of priestesses of Loth. But as it seems your house wizard does not have the competency in these matters, I wish to offer the little I know about those devils. They do have powers of observation and obscuration that go beyond simple arcane invisibility. I would just advise that their eyes and their awareness may go beyond what we would normally take precautions for.
That wizard says, all things that I've warned you of, matron. And she glares at him to be quiet.
Zavir respectfully takes a full step back, then bowing his head.
She says, thank you, Zavir. We expect that House Duskren will make a last effort to kill Fenra.
There's a cutscene of Silavar with his hand against the wall between him and Fenra.
And what is the fate of the Duskren brothers in our dungeons?
That is for them to decide.
I may be able to sway them to our cause. Our way through the Underdark and back home brought us many things.
I'll speak to them first, and then you may attempt to sway them. But there's one more job to be done before this is all finished and House Vandree takes its place. House Duskren is weak from their attack on Tuantarl. They've dedicated all of their soldiers to that strike. And while it was successful, they won't have enough to come at us in full force. They'll have only tonight to get Fenra. In the morning, she will be brought in front of the council. They will send someone or something to try to kill her. And you will ensure that she lives. And you will use the Duskren boys because I love the irony of it. As we speak, my acolytes are preparing a ritual. The 8 daughters of the spider. You're familiar with it?
She bows her head.
There's the 2 of them. Fenra, your wizard, Voss, because he's the only one I can really trust around here to get a job done. She smiles.
Oh.
That's 7. Since you're in charge of this, Savarkeen, I'll give you the option of who your 8th is. Choose wisely. We don't know what they will send after you. Basically, what she's doing is telling you to pick an NPC that you want to help you guys out with what's going to happen.
Cool.
Wait, who are the 7? The 5 of us, and who are the other 2?
The 5 of you, Fenra, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fenra's 6. Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2 NPCs. Yeah, 2 others. We'll get to that mechanically in a second.
Right, Jarax.
She says, now let's go speak to our Duskren allies.
Could we have a short scene, maybe walking down where
Yeah, you can get him. You can get Savarkeen alone.
Savarkeen and Voss
absolutely.
alone, maybe?
I mean, everyone's sort of walking there, but like, yeah, you could definitely fall back. Oh, Savarkeen and Voss? Oh, the 3 of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
We're making our way down there. Obviously, Zavir goes everywhere. Savarkeen does. And first, he properly greets Voss. Andrakavis, my, did we miss your mighty blade on our travels? Good to see you again.
Looks like you had some adventures topside.
It was quite the travel. I look forward to speaking more of it. But, my dear acolyte, or if you're not yet now, soon to be Priestess Savarkeen, please, I must render my deepest apologies. I always sought to render
Now she's unimpressed.
what guidance I could. And maybe in terms of knowledge I could help, but had I known how skilled you were in matters of deception, I fear that I've wasted so much of your time advising. The way that you played all of us on that travel was masterful.
Savarkeen, roll insight.
Truly, truly you are blessed
19 on the die.
by the queen of the spiders. Zavir is just trying to...
Oh my God.
25.
Slobbering.
What do you want me to roll?
Nothing. Just helping Devin to figure out how to role play it. Devin's on another beer.
This game's really stressed him out.
My house is falling apart.
Can you toss
No,
me one
your
to your
house is-
sister?
Your house is on the rise, man. You're doing great.
Dan and Matt's house is falling apart.
Yeah.
Come on here.
Two of my friends.
Those 2 Duskren brothers truly look to you as their leader. And the way when we broke forth through that fallen wall, they were ready to lay their lives and blades in front of you. Loth would be proud, if I may be so bold.
I will be proud when they're out of those cells. They are not common prisoners. They're the reason we made it back here alive. Even if their house has fallen, those 2, they will live.
I suppose that is up to them.
I've had enough with drow spilling blood of other drow. It sickens me every time.
Zavir, in very obvious mock surprise, not trying to hide it, says, Priestess, please don't try to deceive me now and lead us to believe that you did not know of this plan all along, a fellow sister in Loth. Surely this web was weaved with you at the pot, they would not treat you. So,
And what was your part to play, Severe? What move of chess with which Talina plucked you from your lowly house?
Severe is just that pawn trying to get across the board, trying to get the queen.
I can admit nothing more than my own embarrassment for not having seen through your ploy.
It's not a ploy, Severe.
But I'm merely a lowly sage of a 42nd house, a male.
You are not in my place, Severe. I am being pulled in more directions than my body can twist.
More than 8.
She slaps Severe.
he figured that was
fishing
coming.
for it. Yeah.
It just snaps and it echoes in this empty throne room.
Use your portent to dodge it.
You roll a 4.
Too slow.
Zvir, bows his head for a second, the sting of red still showing upon his cheek.
You are alive because of me, Severe. That is what you value most. She looks at your spell books.
I value the opportunity to serve. It seems the direction of my service has changed. I'm sure your direction is clear, so I will merely seek to follow it, Priestess. To the dungeons?
She turns and walks away. She looks at Vaz as she passes by and then keeps walking.
Zvir gives you a smile.
You first.
Of course, brother.
Down in the
Fucking guy, dude.
down in the executive
Char's
dungeon,
making moves.
Dude.
Char's making moves.
the white collar dungeon.
Country club.
I agree with Zorn now. I fucking hate wizards.
And dark elves, right?
Drow.
Your whole goal now is just get high enough level to resurrect Zorn. And
They're the
go-
worst. Yeah.
Down in the executive dungeon, the gate at the end of the hallway opens, and you hear a bunch of footsteps, a bunch of people approaching, and you all see this matron mother. She pauses kind of in the middle of where all three of your cells are, and she says, "Unfortunate news for all of you tonight. Both of your houses will soon be destroyed. Fenra, Tuantal, you are already officially the last of yours. And you two, the Duskgrin brothers. On the first light of Narbandal, Fenra will be brought before the council, where she will claim retribution for the destruction of her house. You've all seen this before. All of Menzoberranzan will show up, assail the gates of House Duskgrin, kill and loot, leave nothing behind. Now, I give you a choice. You are quite fortunate. You can allow your house to fall and be destroyed. I can find a place for you, whether it be here or among our allies. It doesn't matter to me. Or, if you are so loyal, you could save your house by simply falling on your own blade. You see this ritual that they're casting. The 8 legs, the 8 sisters. It links your souls. All of you. She looks around at all of you. And her. And she points at Fenra. If one of you is to die, all of you will die. The ritual will last until the last of Narbandal. Long enough. And so you see, Duskgrin brothers, if you care so much for the house that abandoned you into the Underdark, then fall on your blade. Kill Fenra. Or help me to keep her alive against whatever hellish thing Matron Talana sends after her. The choice is yours.
Salivar standing kind of in the middle of his cell looking back at her. Who's with her?
Her whole family.
Her whole family.
Yeah. She looks at Savarkeen and says, we're going to send all of you to a place that'll be at least a little bit safer. But her devils will find you.
Allow me to take them to a place of my choice.
If anyone's watching, Salivar smiles.
She nods. She says, I hope that you return.
I will not fail.
Pick 2 soldiers, whatever. Just not your brothers and sisters. Bring them with you. Anything else you need as well. She motions down the hall and says, the dining hall is open. Make sure that they eat. They're fed and well rested. And leave as soon as possible. Survive the night. And it will bring great honor to our family.
She bows her head.
They all start to leave. So mechanically, now that she's kind of mentioned this, what this ritual does is you guys, the 8 of you, so the 5 player characters plus Fenra plus 2 NPCs, like, just minions of your choice, are going to have a shared hit point pool. So currently, I've already done the math. You got the 5 of you collectively have 191 hit points.
Okay.
So anytime any of you take damage, it's just going to go to that collective pool.
It's a big net gain for the wizard.
He's out there on the front line.
Woo! Now, of course, what this means is if you guys really want House Duskren to win, you could kill yourselves.
Take a while. Stab at
But it's kind of all or nothing. All or nothing there. So mechanically, that's how that'll work. And during like the downtime, you guys can kind of pick what kind of NPCs you want to kind of round out the party.
I have a couple ideas.
Because whether or not, regardless of whether or not you guys actually back this plan and do it, Salivar, you know that, 100% for sure, she's going to send some insane devil after you.
Yep.
It's totally within her power.
Yep. Especially if she's desperate.
So and she is. I mean, it's a all or nothing move. So you guys are all kind of there in the hallway. Your jail cell's open. You can go down the hall. There's like a banquet hall with a feast prepared. Might be a spell. So discuss what you guys want to do.
Perfect.
Talk it over.
It's a real jolly mood.
Do you want this in character or?
Maybe. I don't know.
We can do
a little
both.
bit of both.
We can do both. Yeah.
Maybe we start in character and then round it out.
Walk it
metagame.
out. Yep.
Sure.
Xavier doesn't lead the way. He waits for Savarkeen, but once we get to the hall and Savarkeen moves to a seat, Xavier sits and starts feasting.
Fenra is there too, and it's fucking weird because you guys have been thinking about nothing but killing her for the last week,
And now we're bound.
and she's kind of quietly eating, and there's this weird kind of connection that you all feel like as one of you eats the food, it's almost like this spectral feeling in the back of your mouth of this weird connection.
Are we alone here otherwise?
Correct.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we're...
Oh, yeah.
Sour King closes the doors to the dining hall. She walks over to the bar, grabs clear spirit and pours it in a glass. He drinks one and then brings the bottle and some glasses over.
Salivar hasn't said anything since the matron mother came.
Would you propose a toast, priestess?
No. Your words are much more inspiring than mine.
I would not go that far. Clearly, I've been blind to much. But I would offer a toast, specifically to my companions.
She looks to see if any of the Duskrins have picked up their glass.
Salivar is standing at the head of the table. He's looking down at a plate of food, and he still hasn't said anything. And he kind of looks up. What do you wish to say, Severe?
I've heard that on the surface, those soft races often raise glasses in hope. Hope for the future, hope for better days. This is not our way. I would raise a glass to opportunities. Opportunities to be granted and opportunities to be taken. I come from a house that I've lost, a city that I've lost, and I sit here before you, having been granted, he extends a hand towards Savrakeen, fortunate opportunities. Opportunities for gain, to help those you choose, opportunities for whatever you seek. He will try to do this without Savrakeen seeing, do his best shot at it. And Drow hand code towards the Duskrins on the side of the table he's sitting. He makes the motion for revenge.
Sleight of hand?
I'll roll sleight of hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And against perception?
Yeah, my passive perception, maybe?
It's a 19.
Savrakeen's looking at the table.
He raises the glass after that and looks at specifically towards Salivar and Jidden.
Salivar is spinning a glass on the table, and he sips it in response, and then puts it down. It's an interesting fate that we share. While it would seem that the Vandree are in a position of power, they have the cards. I would proffer that all of our houses have betrayed us. You are at the whim of us. Your family has abandoned you to our fate, not to theirs.
Savrakeen, this thought keeps gnawing at you. Why didn't Matron Shara share this with you from the beginning?
She shared it with my brother.
Right, but not you.
Which is one half of what Zavir was trying to nettle you with.
Right.
Partly playing on the conscience that he thinks you have, and also on your allegiance to your family.
She didn't want to believe it, I think, at first, but now, sitting around this table, the first time it's been quiet since all of this.
Salivar's, he starts pacing a little down the table while he's talking.
Savrakeen puts her hands, she leans on the table as her head is hanging down. I did not want this.
Salivar smiles. It doesn't matter what you want. Actions are the only thing that speak. Your family has spoken of your fate and of yours. He looks over at you, Voss. They have tied all of us together. And if we think of revenge, he looks over at you. Severe.
Zavir looks surprised, raises his eyebrows.
What better revenge is there against all of them? Say it plays out, but we escape, all of us. Then there are survivors of Duskren. There are survivors of Tuendal. And the last that wanted so desperately to rise will have a survivor left. Actually, before I propose this, Jake, do I know what the ruling would be if Duskren survivors? Because the whole city came against them, it probably wouldn't matter, would it?
So basically, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
It's quote unquote justice for the crimes that Duskren has committed. So it's a different thing completely. Like if you guys escaped, that wouldn't really matter. It would just mean that, you're criminals that got away.
And but if Fenra was with us, I guess it would still be the same, right? Because they want Fenra to survive.
Right.
I have an idea. Savrakeen stands up. She says, I will not betray my house or the wishes of my matron. Fenra and Tarl, I thought long about what I would say to you before you died. But it seems now we are bound, drow hunted by their own. We will escape to the upper reaches. The goblins are still there. Are you prepared? Our mission to keep Fenra 2 and Tarl is safe. If you wish to go before the council in the morning, you may. Or you can come with us. Leave Menzo Burnson behind you. There's no
Why
power.
would I do this?
Because there's no power for you here. Your house is destroyed. We have seen much in our travels. There is a place for you.
There are many houses that would gladly adopt a priestess of Loth.
You are not a priestess anymore. You have lost favor. You failed in your task.
Whew.
But you are still drow.
Zavir is more than anyone trying to get a read on Jidden, which is probably difficult with the mask and Jidden's outlook. But to his little toast and to everything that Savarkeen is saying, he kind of views Jidden as the biggest wild card in this situation. Are you kind of just displaying any kind of reaction? Are you doing anything?
No.
Not eating, drinking?
Nope, definitely not eating or drinking. Yeah, fuck. Jidden's way smarter than I am. That's the problem. How long does this binding last?
24 hours.
No matter what he chooses, his family goes down unless we all die.
Mm-hmm. And even then, that's not necessarily a guarantee.
Well, if the family all dies, then
So
the
the
city
plan-
can't turn on Duskren.
Yeah.
The city can't, but then it would be a toe-to-toe fight with 55 mercenaries that they control, and Duskren's already weakened.
So the plan is to bring in the morning,
Fenra.
so say 12 hours
Yep.
from now, bring Fenra to the council so she can ask for retribution. So if you could somehow convince the 2 members of House Vandree to betray their family, the way you could avoid that is if you basically took off with Fenra, evaded capture for 24 hours, and then killed her once this thing ends. And then essentially House Duskren wins because there's no one there to claim retribution.
Vandree can't wipe them out one-on-one.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, House Duskren is much stronger.
Got it.
And Vandree wouldn't, I think, at that point, because
They would probably just kind of back up and
Hunker down.
it would be a cold war between the 2 houses for a long time.
Yep.
which is not what Mr. Dan's patron wants either.
The 2 matrons would get together and play golf and be like, hey, nice try. Good effort.
Oh, bless your heart.
I'm curious about the 2 lovers. I'm invested in their story.
Yeah.
Can we get some more cutscenes?
Yeah, can we have more of those?
Tell me more about the spider
That's
gloves.
that's the OnlyFans account.
Oh, okay.
I just read dark elf porn.
Yes.
Once you go drow.
It's about now.
Salivar looks at Fenra. What do you want, Fenra?
It's customary for a
Forget
ruling
customs.
house.
What do you want?
I want to live. I want the blessing of the Spider Queen. I want to serve her, bring her glory.
Perhaps I could ask,
I don't care what house it's part of.
with a full priestess and a soon-to-be, for you to impart some wisdom of Loth and her guidance upon us simple warriors and wizards. I've tried my best to learn what I could at Raktilnith in my time there, but obviously with my limitations, I was only able to learn so much. No true understanding. The thing that I always had a hard time grasping was the rules and the customs that Menza Berenzin holds so firmly. I could never reconcile them with the concept of the glory of Loth and how she revels in chaos. To me, it would seem that an opportunity like this, the true way to appease her, in my limited understanding, would be to throw a wrench in these customs, to get away from the strict order imposed upon us. But again, I'm a simple sage.
Severe, you speak in riddles. What is this wrench?
It is an object cast from ore.
Sorry.
He's trying to, specifically with Fenra, the idea of
Chaos.
and if there's a better way for her to regain the favor of the Spider Queen.
We cannot understand the will of the Spider Queen. Her mind is beyond our comprehension. We must just simply trust in her ways, in her guidance. These laws, these rules we follow were passed down by her.
Chaos is chaos. She wants to see the world burn, doesn't she? I look at Savarkeen.
Priestess Savarkeen, what was the wisdom you told us about the guidance of Loth and who she favors?
Those who survive are strong.
Those who survive are strong. I see strength at this table.
Now that Anakaris is back with his 16 strength.
Yes, a little bit beefier.
Survive, then, Fenra.
Without a house, to what end? Without the backing of a strong family, what is the point of survival? What, you wish to go out there into those tunnels, live like an animal, live like that creature that... No, my place is here.
Do you think Loth's so powerless that her reach does not extend beyond Menzo? You do not think that there's work to be done? The world is vast, Fenra. Menzo is but one city. He looks around. What my mother will send for us could very well answer the question. It may kill us all. It will likely be something from the Nine Hells. Something that has struck a bargain with my mother. A bargain it will seek to fulfill at all costs. So this may all be moot. But what if? That is the question. What if we survive? What location are we to be brought to?
We will go to the upper reaches above Menzo Berenzin.
Huh.
She untucks the whistle on a string from behind her breastplate. We will hide amongst the shadows. The goblins still make camp as they wait for their return to deep water. They trust us as we have flown together. I have promised them great power.
We have the power to kill one another. Plain and simple. So, what path brings us all to a place we want to be?
Survival.
That much we are in agreement with. Everyone wants to survive.
Matron Fenra, how is it that new houses come to be?
Well, when a lovely priestess of Lolth and a daring, cunning rogue of Vandree get together, they look into each other's eyes for long enough.
Mask on or mask off?
He's got those sticky gloves too.
Zavir is trying to... He thinks the whole talk of upper reaches and goblins is going to lose Fenra. So he's trying to see if he can get another hook in her.
The thing about Fenra is like she has been brainwashed by the fanaticism of this religion for probably over 100 years.
Yep.
Well, did you hear the question?
What was the question?
I asked her how new houses come to be in Menzo.
Oh, she says, you direct it to her?
Yeah.
She says they simply declare themselves and then they become a new house.
Is this not something that would be on your power with time and opportunity on your side?
If I could regain the blessing of Loth.
With allies, gathering more strength, a glorious return, perhaps not at the same position,
The lowest house of the city,
with nowhere to go but up.
but led by a high priestess of Loth. You said that your mother would send devils?
Yes.
Surely killing this devil would gain me the favor of Loth.
Definitely.
What do you have to gain from this?
I am a wizard, a sage, born of low station. The only opportunities I have are those that I surround myself with.
And you two? Would you join a new house?
I'm assuming she's directing that to
The Duskren brothers. Sorry.
Silavar's eyes kind of slide over to his brother and then look back at her.
You would need new names, new identities.
We would have time.
Time.
I mean, this is not a treacherous plot. Like, so, it's perfectly reasonable, to be honest.
It would have to involve some treachery on the part of the Vandree.
Yeah.
No. I mean, like, the Vandree still get everything they want. You know what I mean?
Oh, even if the houses are eliminated.
No, this wouldn't. Why are we talking about eliminating House Vandree?
Well, I'm sorry, if Duskren and Tuantar are eliminated,
Yep.
they wouldn't necessarily, like, everyone else could break away potentially.
Sure. Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
I
yeah.
understand.
And the two Vandree could stay in their house or leave it if they feel, betrayed by it or whatever.
That was pointed.
Or whatever.
But yeah. I mean, it's a perfectly reasonable suggestion, and she seems to like it. Then we go to this upper reach. We stay alive until the first light of Narbandal.
Savarkeen nods.
And time is the gifter of opportunities. He looks around the table and locks eyes with Jidden briefly as he looks around.
All right. It's so at this point, let's figure out some mechanical stuff.
Sure.
And then we will do a little breaky break.
Yep.
So you guys did level up.
Level up.
You already did that.
Yeah.
All right,
So you should
level
all
up
be
again.
you should all
I
be
see.
5,
Got it.
right? You should all be level 5, right?
And then level up to 6, right?
We
Can we
twisted Jake's arm, by the way, to level up.
What? Oh, well, it was actually I was like, do I do it mid?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Speed go around, what everybody's...
Yeah, like what did you get? Ryan, you kind of leveled up twice because you've been gone.
Yeah.
Took 2 levels of...
I did. Yeah, I took 2 levels of
Rouge.
Rouge. So if I had a 3 Rouge 2, so I can cunning action and sneak attack and
Battlemaster. Battlemaster Rogue is
yeah.
my favorite combo in 5e.
Oh, that was our very first
Yeah,
arc?
that's what I played. Yeah, so now I'll favor his character.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. Yeah.
So many things, like just so much options in a fight. Cool. Devin.
Savarkeen became a 5th level druid.
Cool.
I gained some hit points, a lot of hit points actually. And then
3rd level spell.
I can prepare 3rd level spells. So druid as a prepared spell class, I can prepare any assortment of 1st through 3rd level spells. I can prepare 8 different spells.
And what did you didn't get, Matt?
5th level rogue. Big stuff. Uncanny dodge. Next.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Oh,
Big
that's
stuff.
very big.
Yeah.
3d6 sneak attack.
Silavar is now...
Got to land an attack for it.
Silavar is now a 5th level warlock, and he got a new Eldritch Invocation. He got Thirsting Blade, so he can attack twice. And he got a 3rd level spell, and his 2 spell slots became 3rd level spell slots. But we saw in the earlier fight, he got Dispel Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think proficiency bonus went up and some hit points.
Okay.
Good level.
Zavir went classic power gamer, Wizard 3, Cleric 2.
Awesome.
Renowned. The only thing he really gained, cool channel divinity for being a cleric, knowledge domain, knowledge of the ages. So as an action, I can choose any skill or tool or anything like that and get proficiency for 10 minutes. But that's it.
Cool. So here's what happens. After this meal that you all enjoy is Hero's Feast.
Shit.
I need you all to roll 2d10 for temporary hit points so I can add it to your hit point pool.
Boy, dude, he is going to throw the fucking book at us.
I only got 6.
Can I keep these for myself because I rolled well?
I made up, yeah. I made up for my fellow Vandree with 18.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
I got 15.
Okay.
15 as well.
Matt?
Chidden didn't eat.
Oh,
Fucking inspiration?
yeah.
Inspiration.
That's fucking gangster.
Yeah,
Give him one.
definitely.
Give him one.
Okay. And you got a 15 as well, Josh?
I did. Anybody who has inspiration? I have one.
I have 1.
1.
I used mine.
I'll have to go back to the tape.
Probably used it. Get
Probably
to the
used it.
underdog.
Yeah.
Hey, we will get a long rest here. Or
Yes. Yes.
Doesn't Hero's Feast do that?
No.
no? I
No?
meant for the sake of. Actually, I don't need a long rest. I just need an opportunity to study spell books.
You guys will get a long rest. You guys are also immune to fear. You get advantage on, I think it's wisdom saves.
It's a big one.
When all of your equipment is returned to you, not you, Dan. Well, let's go around. Ryan, when your glaive was never taken, but your glaive is taken temporarily, and when it's returned to you, it is a +2 glaive.
Splendid.
Devin, I'm not sure what you're mostly spider form these days still.
Yeah, when I'm in the Underdark.
Yeah.
Can you give him like boxing gloves to go on the end of his
Do you have-
spider legs?
Do you have magic armor?
No.
No.
It's the bullet breastplate.
Now it's +1.
Cool.
Matt, you fight with daggers?
Rapier.
Rapier. Okay. Your rapier is now +2 as well. And Xavier, I don't think you're given anything. You're too casty. You've already got too many rings.
And spell books.
Just
Yeah.
one. Oh, no, I have 2.
Rings on his fingers. Awful cooking smells.
Dan. No, we'll get to yours in game.
Sure.
So, significant power up for what's about to come, which is that the 10th house, your house, is going to do everything in its power to kill you guys. But we'll get to that.
That's not.
We'll get to that in a moment. There is time for a long rest. You all stay here, relax. This sort of area, you're still like there's bars at the end of the other hallway, but you're allowed to kind of freely move within the space without being impeded. At one point, Jidden, you're in your cell talking to yourself, and you hear a voice.
A different voice?
Uh-huh.
I was like, what?
Hello, Jidden. You turn and you see Pitrix is in your room. I cannot stay long. There's powerful magic preventing me from being here. We have learned of what has happened. We know of House Vandree's betrayal. What do they mean to do?
Slaughter you.
Fenra Tuatara must die. If she does not, it'll bring ruin to our house, our family.
Do you think us stupid, imp? I know what must be done. You show now.
Do you know what must be done?
Jidden draws his rapier and puts it up to the imp's throat.
He puts a clawed finger on it and kind of runs the claw across the rapier and taps it and points at you. Matron Tilana has one final mission for you. There is one more you must kill. As he fades away, he says, yourself. And that's where we'll end the game.
Damn. Wow. That's dark stuff.
Seppuku?
Trigger warnings.
Do it.
This is the part where Dan has to explain to Jidin that the matron doesn't care about you. Yep. Can't you see that?
We've been working on it. We've been priming that.
You got to do suicide on them.
Thank you for listening to A Tangled Web. Please, if you have time, tell a friend, write us a review, or, just go out and shout it on the rooftops. Check out all of our different social media platforms. You can go to our website and find links at the bottom. There's probably also links on whatever you're listening to right now. That's NastyGramRPG.com, and definitely check out the socials because I tend to put little things on there to help with NPCs and visual aids and whatnot. Our intro music was by A Wilhelm Scream. Theme song is Oath by Adrian von Ziegler. All scores by Adrian von Ziegler and Antti Marttikainen. Thanks for listening.
That's nasty.